Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In this episode we're going to take a look at the Oxford Rail Warwell, more specifically item number OR76WW001B, Ministry of War Transport. Now I've wanted to get some of these wagons for some time. Those of you that have followed the channel for some time will know of my interest in the railways during the wartime and my interest in the Longmoor Military Railway. As such, it was a no-brainer to obtain some of these wagons. Now these wagons have been available for some time now, so it has took me some time to get round to purchasing some of this particular item. So the packaging is as I have come to expect from the Oxford Rail range, a simple cardboard outer box with a viewing window and inside an ice block style plastic moulded sleeve holding and protecting the model. Also included within the packaging is a pack of additional detail parts, as you can see here. Now the Warwell itself. So as I mentioned earlier, I have chosen the Ministry of War example. Taking a look at the top, there is a huge amount of fine moulded detail. Riveted detail, panel line and level detail, as well as moulded wood detail and so on. Also there are 4 separate chains fitted to give the impression that loads have been anchored securely onto the Warwell. Now if we take a look at the ends of the Warwell, there is a nice amount of detail on view here also. If we take a look at the top portion of the buffer beam, we can see those fine rivets and a very realistic coupling hook. In fact, I would say that this is one of the best interpretations I have seen on one of my purchases. And to each side of the coupling hook are hoops for chain connections. And of course, the buffers themselves, which are very nicely detailed in their moulding. Note that the buffers are not sprung, and personally don't see any reason why in model form these should need to be. To the lower part of the buffer beam, we can see the additional panels riveted to the upper portion coming down towards track level, where on each side this has moulded screw jacks. And of course the narrow coupling supplied at each end of the model, which is of NEM style. Now if we move round to the side, I am personally impressed with the level of detail presented along the length of this model. Fine rivets galore, raised panel definition easily picked out, very fine and I must say legible print along the frame. Fine moulded detailed components on the frame and separately fitted handbrake on each end of the frame for each bogie. And speaking of bogies, let's take a closer look at them. The bogies, in my point of view, are very finely detailed in their moulding, with axle boxes and springs picked out very clearly. The bogie frames appear so fine and show off how the prototype's frames were made of several components. The brake pads and brake rigging visible through the frames also. The bogies are fitted with 3-hole metal disc style wheel sets. Now underneath the bogie we can see some of the very fine brake rigging detail and also how the bogie has been attached to the model with a single screw. A note to be made here is how the bogie is separate to the NEM coupling, swivelling independently to that of the coupling. If we look beyond the bogie and along the frame, we can see more detail with separately fitted pipework as well as other details such as tanks. I am personally blown away with the detail included on this model with a recommended retail price of £33.95. I've put a link in the description for that particular model, so make sure to check that out. Now I have chosen the unloaded version here as I have already got a number of tanks purchased previously that I can place on the top, as well as a number of model kits from Airfix. You could however purchase an example of this Warwell with a Sherman Tank included on it, which I've also put a link in the description for you to check out as well. It should be noted that I have purchased a number of these wagons in order to represent a good train, although these will also look great in sidings being loaded or unloaded. Oxford Rail have also produced a later modified variant used by BR and British Steel for carrying long loads such as rods, bars and rail, so you could use those for modelling in later eras. So let me know in the comments what you think of this model, and would you like to see more wartime models like this being manufactured in model form? Have you got any of these Warwells and what do you think of them? If you enjoyed this episode and would like to send a super thanks, please do, and I will thank you in my next episode. There's lots of links in the description, so make sure to check the description out and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye now.